Hi, everyone. Welcome to E is for Education. It's one of 5 lessons where we are going to teach you in a deep dive all the parts and pieces of Social Simplified, which we call our endless content formula. So let's get started. I'm going to give you a little bit of background. So a long time ago, I came up with this formula called EIEIO. And it wasn't anything revolutionary. I just organized the thoughts into this thing that made an acronym that I could easily remember. I was a small business owner. I was attending some marketing classes and a meetup group. And after a while of attending these monthly classes, I noticed that um, the different parts and pieces that I was writing down in my email or in my notes made this acronym. They were E, I, and O. They weren't in that order, but I put them in that order. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so easy to remember. So several years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I just kind of jotted down this EIEIO methodology and I started posting using this formula, and it changed and unlocked how I did my social media for my business. And I eventually went on to write an e-course about it. And we have been teaching it ever since. Angela and I combined forces about 2 years ago. And it's definitely one of our flagship concepts that we use in, all of our marketing, our clients' marketing. And it's what we teach the small businesses in our coaching group. So I'm going to teach you the first E of the EIEIO, but the difference between this class and anything else we've ever written is we're really focusing on one type of content at a time and going to give you a lot of examples to go with it. So the endless content formula is just a way to organize your thoughts so that your monthly posts earn you the right to sell online. I will explain that in a second. The endless content formula allows you to stretch your message into engaging captions and posts that increase your engagement and your reach. So sometimes we have a topic. Let's say we're in real estate and we're like, I don't know how to say I do real estate any other way. I just say, hey, I'm a realtor. Over here, I'm a realtor. Hey, pick me. I want to be a realtor. And that's about as far as you can get with your content on your own. This E is for education class is going to show you how to stretch that and become the authority in your field so that you know how to stretch that content and you know how to increase your reach without sounding like salesy and smarmy. So, earning the right to sell, like I talked about in the first slide, just means that you aren't turning people off by being too salesy. You're giving them something, you're educating them about something. And that, of course, EIEIO has 4 other types of content, which we'll get to in the other classes. So, are you one of those people, though, who think that a plan means that you're chained to this like boring, restrained content that's not fun and not engaging? Well, if that is you, that is not this. Okay. EIEIO, the endless content formula, or what we call social simplified, really simplifies your social, but amplifies your message. Very distinct difference there. This is our social simplified worksheet, if you will, template, plan, monthly plan. The only thing on here that's filled out every month is educate, inspire, entertain, inform, offer. Educate, inspire, entertain, and inform. There's 9 posts. We call it the 9-box billboard down here on the right. The art of selling is making your product or service relevant to the customer. If you can make your product or your service, or notice up here, event, relevant to the people that you want to come, then you're selling. Then you're getting people to sign up, attend your event, buy your services, order your product, whatever. So for today's class, again, we're going to focus on that educational content, what that looks like, how to fill this form out, all of that. And just by adding educational content to your social media plan each month is already going to amplify your message and give you the ability to say the same thing in a different way that makes your product service relevant to your customer. What I want you to notice about a couple of things on this worksheet is EIEIO, balls in the middle, EIEI. So the only content in these 9 posts that actually say, buy my stuff, lands perfectly in the center of this template. Okay. Nobody that's looking at your content is going to say, oh my gosh, okay, well, I guess today she's going to inspire me, or yesterday she entertained us, so today she's going to inform us. No one's going to know the type of content that, or this template is driving the type of content that you post. It's going to feel very organic. It's going to feel very natural, but it's going to let you hit all the boxes so you're not missing any type of content that your client needs in order to make a decision to pull the trigger and buy your X, Y, and Z. So it's always, always, always advisable, non-negotiable really, to start with a focus. Focus on a single product, focus on a single service, or focus on an upcoming event, an upcoming event. Write that here, okay? Once you write that there, you're going to have a number goal. I want 20 people to attend. I want 7 people to buy my service. I want 40 people to order my product. Whatever it is, a number goal. If your focus is something like growing your followers or let's say focusing on a certain audience like empty nesters, if you're a realtor, there are different things you can focus on besides a product, service, or event. However, just for simplicity, we did that. So just think outside of the box. But the point is to have a goal and have a focus so that you're not all over the place, right? So the art of selling is to make your product, service, or product or service relevant to the customer, and to follow this formula so that your content is laid out in a way that doesn't make your followers tune out or turn off because you're being too salesy. Notice one offer post. So if you can remember the EIEIO that I jotted down on that notebook so many years ago, then you can be a pro at content marketing for your business. That is the long and short of it. E is for education. The art of selling is to make your product or service relevant to the customer. So let's get into it. All right. Educating your audience is crucial to selling your product, service, or inviting someone to attend the event. Attend the event. It's so hard for me to say that because if they don't feel like you're an expert in that product, then they don't trust the product. If they don't feel like you're an expert in the field of whatever your service is, then they don't trust in coming to work with you. If you're not an expert in whatever the event is that you're driving traffic to, they don't feel like the caliber of the event is going to be that great. So you have to educate your audience to show the depth of your knowledge. On a scale of 1 to 10, you are a 10. You might be a 42. I don't know. But your clients tend to be like a 0 to 2, right? They kind of know they want your product. They kind of want to know about your service, but they aren't on a scale of 1 to 10 about your business and how you operate. So you have to get them there. And you can't get them from 0 to 10 all in one post. You have to use terms that they use, language that they use. We call this the lyrics of your clients. And the next few slides, we're going to dive deep into that. And you have to get them there in little incremental posts. We call that tiny topics. Solve one problem, answer one question. It's the depth of the knowledge that makes you an expert, not the breadth. So we could all use this kind of reminder. The depth of the knowledge, if you can go deep on one tiny topic, that's easier to, first of all, wrap your brain around and talk about. You can't just go all over the place. But that also tells your client that you're not desperate and trying to throw in everything you possibly know. You're just hitting one tiny topic because you know there's enough squares to go around on social media and that you're going to be there to tell them another tiny topic the next day. So don't be afraid to drill down and do one tiny thing instead of a big thing in one post. Let me give you an example. We have a client named Meg. She was going to do a pantry clean out. She's a nutritionist. And she said that a lot of our products have sugar in them, things that we didn't even know. So she was going to do a pantry clean out of all the things with sugar. And I said, why don't you just do one? Teach us about one. And she did that. And that one product was Morton's salt. And the third ingredient was dextrose, which is sugar. And to this day, I use this example in so many classes and I've remembered it. And it's made me think twice when I'm at the grocery store or when I need to get salt. It's it's a it's a it's a win. It's something that I can wrap my brain around. And it's something I would have never thought to look at. But because Meg is a nutritionist, she's very granular, pun intended, talking about salt here. Um, but that was so helpful. And it was something I could easily wrap my brain around, remember, and I found value in it. So, where do you find the lyrics of your clients? We're going to talk about tiny topics in a second and lyrics of your clients. Where do you find those? Well, my favorite place to find them is in local Facebook groups. This particular Facebook group that I've searched up is called Frisco Area Business Moms. Wherever you are, the town that you're in, there's usually a group of moms that have formed some sort of a group. Get yourself in there, search the group in the little search box for topics in your industry. This one I typed in, I need to lose weight. And I just typed that in to see if I was a nutritionist or a weight loss expert or whatever, what would I be searching for? People that were searching the group saying, I need to lose weight. What are they saying? Well, here's this lady's uh, question, I guess, or what she was in search of in the group. And of course, this is 2 years ago, but still, it's a client's words. I need meal pickup delivery ideas for my family. Husband and I need to lose some weight while our teenage son needs to gain and is an athlete, so needs more calories than most. We all prefer to eat healthy, so family style comfort food is out, but oh so good. I would prefer fully cooked food we can warm up, but not opposed to things where I have to assemble and cook a little bit. Thoughts? Does this exist? I hate to cook in grocery shops, so I really want to figure out something. Okay. That's a very normal mom thing to say. But a nutritionist might say, you need to focus on your macros or something like that. Don't use those words. Use the words of your clients, the lyrics of your clients. So here's what I picked out. Husband and I need to lose some weight while our teenage son needs to gain. Does this exist? Here's an example of how I may repurpose those lyrics into a post. Okay. This is a cover photo. Of course, this is an Instagram mock up. So I had to just kind of make it up. But let's say this was a reel of all my meal delivery, all my meals. And I just found a picture just to give you an idea. But I put point of view. You're a busy family with no time to cook. Parents want to lose weight, but son needs to gain for sports. So this lady and probably 20 others, well, let's see how many comments she had. See, she had 44 comments. 44 comments. That means that was a hot button topic. So you know that there are going to people being like, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. My kid needs to gain weight. I need to lose weight. What parent isn't in that boat, really? I mean, unless you're just like Uber workout lady. But I just made up some sort of caption here. Don't pay attention to the caption. But that is a way to use the lyrics of your clients. Now let's try another one. I searched up rash. That's the word I searched. because I was just trying to come up with someone that like sold essential oils, or a dermatologist, or an esthetician, something like that. So you would want to search up maybe rash. Any dermatologist in here? I've had this rash on my chin for 3 weeks. I want to try and deal with it on my own before going in because I don't want to spend money to see someone. Okay. Lyrics of your clients. I want to try and deal with it on my own. I don't want to spend money to see someone. I've been putting essential oils on it all week. I've had a rash on my chin for 3 weeks. Okay. So those are all lyrics of a potential client for an esthetician. So here's the mock-up of an example on how I would use those lyrics. Don't want to spend money to see someone about your rash. See how I use the dollar signs, and literally I use the exact wording of the client that I took by searching up in a mom group. What words are my potential clients using? So I can take that down from 0 to 10. Remember, I'm a 10, the client's a 2. We're trying to get them there by using words they understand and words they use, because then they can say, oh my gosh, that's me. I actually said that. They have no idea you pulled it from the group where they did say that, but you're more likely to find someone like that by using their words. So the last example I have for this is lyrics of your clients. I'm looking for a social media manager that creates content with my content. I'm looking for a social media manager creates content with my content. Okay, as a social media manager, I think we call that partnering up with our clients so that we're not using stock images. Well, a lot of our clients say, well, why if I hire you, would you ask me for content? I thought I was paying you to do my content. But what they don't understand is if we don't use actual content that they have, then their brand isn't going to be developed online because it'll be all stock images that anyone can use. So I really resonated with this one. And this is how I'd use it. When your social media manager asks you for content, it's not because they're lazy. So some of my actual clients think when I tell them, or, potential clients, and I'm in a discovery call, they think that when I tell them that I'm going to ask for content from them, they're like, but why would I pay you? So I have to explain to them, it's not because we don't want to just use stock images. That would make our life way easy, but that does not move the ball forward. That doesn't move the needle forward. That's not going to be good for your brand. We need imagery that speaks to your brand. So social media marketing is about building a brand. If your social media manager is using stock videos and images, then your brand recognition will suffer. You want an agency that works with you as well as for you. That is an educational post, by the way. Okay. And I actually need to go back and show you this. This is an educational post too. With the winter season upon us, we have had a rash of people coming into our office, pun intended. Want to try to deal with it yourself? No problem. Here are 3 remedies that you can try before coming to Frisco Dermatology. Cut out gluten, stop using anything but Cetaphil, and you could go on and on. But you can use the lyrics of your clients to get their attention, and you can teach them something in the caption, which is what I did in the next one. Showed them how it's not lazy. I kind of use the lyrics of my clients by, what she said is creates content with my content. And I taught them something in the caption. So educational content all your content should pair the lyrics of your clients with something educational. If it's your educational content should pair those two. Super important. Let's dive into 3 examples of educational content. This is different than finding the lyrics of your clients. That's just how to get their attention. So I'm going to let you watch this one first. I'm just going to click on it. We're going to watch this, and then we're going to go through the pieces of this post. I think I am. Not sure why that's not clicking. Hold on 1 second. Gonna exit out of here and let's click on it. Go over here.
So the word of the day is glutathione. And if you want to find a way to repair damaged cells, heal muscle tissue, detox your liver, this is going to be for you. So your body naturally produces glutathione. However, as we age, as we drink alcohol and eat processed foods, those levels start to drop. And so you need to supplement that. And you can do it with shots or drips. And we have them here at the Drip Bar McKinney. And we're going to help get your levels up, repair that damaged tissues, replace and regenerate those cells, and get you feeling better than ever. So call or book today and let's get you on your way.
Okay, that was pretty good, right? And we will go back over here to our post so that you can read the different pieces of this. So this is an educational post. Drip Bar McKinney, they obviously do IV drips for nutritional and health reasons. The format of this educational post is a reel. Her name is Erin, and she did a face to camera. So she literally just talked to her camera and answered a frequently asked question. Her hook on top of the reel, so the first page that shows up on her Instagram feed is gluta what? You need to know this. So that hooks people into wanting to know what it is that she thinks they need to know. So that's the hook. The caption, it's a new buzzword, glutathione. It's so important. Glutathione has its own drip. It's so important that glutathione has its own drip. Known as a powerful antioxidant, glutathione is used for anti-aging, maintaining general health, and keeping the body functioning at its best. Other drips we offer that contain this potent antioxidant: the All-Star drip, Jet Setter drip, Restoration drip, Time Machine drip, Allergy drip, Firm drip, post-op drip. Do your body a favor and incorporate. Okay, sorry, I forgot to separate this one out, but that's your CTA. So your call to action on this is do your body a favor and incorporate glutathione into your health experience. Come in and try a drip today. So you have her caption, you've got her call to action, and then she's used hashtags at the bottom. So her educational post teaches them not only in the reel itself, but in the caption, what glutathione does. And she's using the lyrics of her clients because I know her personally, and people are always like, gluta what? What is that word? So she used gluta what as her hook because other people could see themselves in it. Again, this is a reel. We call it a face to camera, where you hold up your camera and you just talk to it. And this is a frequently asked question that she gets a lot. So that is very awesome. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of presentation mode on this one. And we're going to click over here. And this is a carousel, okay, a different format, still an educational post. We're going to read about it. So Style with Eugenia, and let's make this big so you can see it bigger. This is a carousel, which is basically like a little PowerPoint on Instagram. So my go-to European packing palette for essential colors. What are we going to learn? The 4 essential colors. And then on each slide, she has a little bit more educational content. So khaki, because versatility is key. Khaki is very versatile. It goes with everything, especially the other 3 colors in this palette. White, classic, never fades. White is white. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Travel light, travel right. If you have denim, denim can go with every one of the pieces in these 4 colors. And then endless possibilities with black. So you've got all of her colors. And you've got her cover photo. And we'll go back over here to this and present it so you can see that big too. So the format's a carousel, not a reel. My hook on the cover of the carousel is her hook. my go-to European packing palette for essential colors. We know what we're going to learn. The caption, sticking with versatile colors like khaki, denim, black, and white for your wardrobe while traveling in Europe, sounds like a smart choice. These colors are easy to mix and match, ensuring that you can create a variety of stylish outfits without packing too many items. Now, here's the deal. I recently went to Europe with my family. I was the one that way overpacked, and half the stuff I didn't even wear because it was never appropriate. If I had known this, I could have saved myself and packed these four essential colors, and my wardrobe would have been perfect for any occasion. So I really resonated with this, and that's why I've chosen it. So not only does the hook speak to what they're about to learn, but it makes them stop the scroll and want to scroll through the carousel. The caption also adds value by more educational content. The call to action, which separated out this time, shop these looks in my LTK, link in bio, or copy this link to your browser. The link's there, or comment link in the comment section below to have the link sent to you in a direct message. So we've got a few CTAs here, but either way, they all link to the link to these outfits. Her hashtags, she actually had a lot more than this, but I just copied a few. Again, hashtags are important just for categorizing your content. Another example of an educational post in a different format, but providing value to our clients. Remember, selling a product or service is about making your product or service relevant to the customer. Educational content is one way to do that. This is relevant to me. When we go back to Europe, you can bet your butt, denim, white, black, and khaki. That's what I'm bringing. All right, here's the third and final example that I'm going to show y'all. This is a post or a single image. Let me get out of here. Okay, we're going to click on that. Now, this is the picture, okay? It's not a carousel. It's not a reel. It's a different format, and it is just a single image stagnant on the screen. Here is the caption. I'm just going to read it from here. Y'all, this image has been a long time coming. This project was a labor of love for a sweet friend who lost her mom and wanted to transform her childhood home into her adult refuge. Imagine a 1960s ranch style home with walls separating the kitchen, dining, and living room. We removed the wall between the kitchen and living room and created this beautiful workspace. To the left, where you see the wall of cabinets, holds the built-in fridge, storage, and a hidden pantry behind what looks to be cabinet doors, all where the dining room used to be. I'm sure this past holiday season saw a lot of use here as the siblings and their families created new memories in their old home. Give us a call if you want to reimagine a space or three in your home. So when I said this is something you can't Google, you can't Google what did the interior designer do to this space to make it look like this? Well, I've been educated through that post on the story of this client renovation, why they did it, how meaningful it was, what was there before, and how it's different now. What's secret behind those cabinets, what walls were there, even that the family was all together for Christmas in this space. So, wow, that is very educational. And as you'll see in a later class, this post is also very inspirational. Okay. By looking at this picture and knowing what it was before, you think to yourself, wow, she's educated me on what's possible and inspired me to want to do that to my own space. So again, making your product or service relevant to your potential client. Do you think she's going to find clients that have 1960s ranch style houses that want to know what's possible? If they stumble upon this, you can bet your butt they're going to want to contact her to reinvent her space. So it's all about making things relevant. So those are the three. What I want to show you here, going back to Erin with the drip bar, okay? all face to camera reel, glue to what, you need to know this, caption, hashtags, call to action. So if we go back here, this is what this plan would look like. Notice that educate and educate happens twice in this 9-post plan. This is the format, a reel. It's a face to camera reel, okay? Come in and try a drip today. That's the call to action. The hook, glue to what? You need to know this. Hashtags, I just chose a few, but when you print this out, you can write all over it. So let's say you were planning out your content for the month. You would want to first come up with what you're going to focus on. In Erin's case, she was focusing on that glutathione drip, or actually a certain product inside of many of her drips. She was focusing on all the drips that contained glutathione. Okay. So could she inspire people? Yes. Entertain them? Absolutely. Inform them? Absolutely. Offer to them, buy my drip? Excellent. And educate like she did. So if she was planning this out, this form or this worksheet, this is how she would fill that out. She would think, okay, I want to do, everybody always asks me about glutathione. So I'm going to do a face to camera reel and answer a frequently asked question about glutathione. My call to action is going to be, come in for a drip, because my goal is to sell 7 drips to existing or new clients that contain glutathione, because that's my focus. So that's my call to action. My hook on the screen, I need to make it good and speak to my clients. So I'm going to use the lyrics of my clients, and they always say gluta what? So I'm going to use that on my hook on the cover. And my hashtags are going to be about glutathione, IV drips, McKinney, Texas, and she's going to start planning those out. Now, her click list, this last column, is where she writes, okay, this is what I need to gather in order to make this post. I need to do a face to camera reel about the benefits of glutathione. Literally, I'm typing in here, but you would print this out and write it out. And then you can obviously plan the times that you're going to schedule your posts based on what's best for your account. So hopefully that's clear as mud. Let's go on to this one. I'm going to make this small again and present it. All right. Educational content establishes you as an expert in your field. It's one of the types of content that makes people want to follow you, because we call this a value add post. If you aren't providing any value to your clients, you're only saying, buy this drip, buy this drip, buy this drip, there's no reason for them to follow you. If you're giving them different tips and tricks to lead a healthy lifestyle and to learn about what these things mean, then they're going to be like, I'm going to follow her. I like this information. So educational posts are super valuable to your clients, and it gives them a reason to follow you. Educational posts aim to empower and transform. So when I feel like I know something better or I understand it, I feel empowered. So when people try to educate me, like the dextrose in salt, it transformed me. When I go to the grocery store, I don't buy Morton's. I buy Himalayan sea salt that you have to grind because there's nothing added to that. It literally transformed a tiny piece of me. Informative posts, because I know that y'all saw that on the worksheet. Informative posts act as a reference and can be repeated over and over again. You'll see in one of these 5 lessons, when we talk about informative posts specifically, what kind of information needs to be in those posts. What are people looking for? What do they need to know to pull the trigger with your business? So educational is about reach, engagement, getting your followers to follow you. Informative is about saying, here's what I do. Here's how you can work with me. Here's my number. Here are my hours of operation. It's basically the reference information that people need to know, stuff they can Google. Tiny topics. We talked about this earlier, and we're going to circle back around now. We have the lyrics of your clients, and we have tiny topics. Inch wide, mile deep. That is how you win over people with your authority. If you're going a mile wide and an inch deep, then you know a lot. No, I'm sorry, you know a little about a lot. You don't know a lot about an expert area or expertise. So let's just give this example because I think this is going to drive that home. Real estate in Frisco, real estate in whatever town you're in. I don't care if you're in, Cincinnati or Portland, real estate in you fill in the blank. That is a very broad topic. In our town, in my town of Frisco, we have something called PGA Fields Project. Okay. It's this master development giant, all built around the brand new PGA headquarters that moved to my town. Well, there are tons of walking trails. Okay. One of them is called the East Walking Trail. And this spring, that walking trail uh, had flowers. So, what if you were trying to establish yourself as an expert in the PGA Fields development as a realtor? You wanted to sell people on this neighborhood, the amenities, the parks, the trails, everything. If you drill down to tiny topics like the spring flowers on the East Walking Trail at PGA Fields, now you're providing value. People all of a sudden in and around the area, or the people who want to move to the area, are like, wait a minute, where is this field? I want to know where that is. I want to live by there. I want to be a part of that neighborhood. Whereas Real Estate Frisco, you don't even know where to start with a post like that because it's just like, it's all over the place. So you want to get inch wide, mile deep, solve one problem with every single post. So I'm going to end with this. This is one of 5 lessons. Educational content is one of the ways that you multiply your message in a way that's both engaging and increases your reach. It makes your product, your service, your upcoming event, whatever you're talking about, relevant to your potential clients. We focus in on Instagram because obviously we work with small business owners that have to do a lot. And killing 2 birds with 1 stone is always advisable. So if you can post on Instagram, push it to Facebook, or vice versa, do it in this order: EIEIO. E is for education, and you go education, inspiration, entertaining, informative, offer. Education, inspiration, entertainment, informative, then you can do another offer. But you repeat yourself and you're earning the right to sell. You're not going to be smarmy. Nobody's going to nope out of your content and say, I don't want to follow her anymore. All she does is sell. You want to be able to multiply your message in a way that doesn't turn people off. And even more so than that, you want to multiply your message in a way that adds value to their life and aims to empower and transform them. So I hope you will join me for the other 4 classes that are to come. EIEIO, if you can remember that, you can be a pro at your marketing.